The pinball machine over there.
Yeah.
RoboTone, look over there. What is happening?
Oh, man, look at that.
Whoa!
Who is that?
High score.
Hey, we got some bagels over there, man. Looks like you need to eat.
Fans?
Yeah, that's a little bit appropriate. I hate to say it, but right?
It's October 30th, the day before Halloween. My name's Kay Adams, Nate Burleson, Peter Schrager, and what is going on there?
What do you mean? This is
Stop.
the face of the United Kingdom. Gardner Minshew is going to London, but first, he's coming to Good Morning.
Yeah!
Gardner Minshew on the show today. We have homages coming out of our ears. We also have a lot of fun stuff today. You know, if it's NFL 100, we like to look at the past. We're going to do a segment today, guys. Did you know that back in the day in the 1930s, it was a penalty to throw the ball unless you were more than 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage? Really weird stuff, weird technology, weird rules. I'm going to quiz the table on yesteryear. Just look at that glorious footage. NFL 100, we love you. You want to talk glorious footage, though? Let's look at this next clip. Never mind these gentlemen. This is what is this? What are we doing in a grocery store? It's Jimmy! This was the hot video that's going around. What former teammate of Jimmy Garoppolo's bum rushed him in the cereal aisle? Or maybe it's the snack aisle looking at this.
Hey,
look out.
That's a whole meal.
The snack aisle.
So we'll get into that. And then, like we said, a massive guest this morning, the starting quarterback for the Jacksonville Jags.
Yeah!
Running out of the smoke right to our show. Gardner Minshew's coming on the show this morning before a big game with the Texans in London.
What does he dress up as for Halloween when everybody's dressing up as him?
Great question. He shaves and puts on a suit.
Is that what it is? He just dresses
goes straight.
real dapper?
Maybe. He's awesome.
I guess. At GMFB, excited to welcome Gardner Minshew to the show. If you have any questions for him, tweet us what we should ask him at GMFB. It is time for the lead block.
Lead block.
Lead block.
The NFL trade deadline passed at 4 p.m. Eastern yesterday afternoon. And throughout the day, there were reports of Jet safety Jamal Adams and running back Le'Veon Bell being shopped around. No moves were made. Here's what General Manager Joe Douglas had to say about the trade rumors.
On the players that were leaked out today, those weren't players that we were shopping. But, you know, where I'm from and what I was taught is when a team calls you, you should always listen to what they have to say. So that's what we did. We listened. We had good conversations. There was some productive conversations. But at the end of the day, you know, there was no fire sale, there's no garage sale going on with these players, and we value these guys a lot. And ultimately, the offers that we received for these players didn't equal the value that we have for them within this organization.
Joe Douglas there, and Jamal Adams taking to Twitter shortly after this, tweeting, "Any reports of me being asked to be traded from New York are completely false. At the end of last week, I sat down with the GM and Coach Gase and told them I want to be here in New York. I was told yesterday by my agent that the GM then went behind my back and shopped me around to teams, even after I asked him to keep me here. Crazy business." So Joe Douglas says he was not shopping around, but he was listening and answering the phone for offers, as a team who's 1-6 might do at this point of the season, ahead of said trade deadline. Schrags, messy situation in New York or no?
We'll see, because this morning they all get to work and they have to face each other in the eyes. But I will take you through the day. What Joe Douglas is saying is, I didn't pick up the phone actively and offer Jamal Adams to anybody. But if anyone wants my phone number, they know where it is. And if they want to call, they can. Truth of the matter was, the Dallas Cowboys called. The Cowboys called and made a trade offer for Jamal Adams. It wasn't enough. It was later reported by our very own Jane Slater that the Cowboys were offering something and the Jets wanted a first rounder and two second rounders back. And the Cowboys said, well, that's too rich for our blood. Okay. I could tell you, which I don't know if this is out there, the Ravens also called. The Ravens were in on Jamal Adams. The offer wasn't enough. At the end of the day, Joe Douglas can look at Jamal Adams and say, I was offered a lot for you, and I didn't want to trade you because you're that important. The term he used on the radio show.
A first rounder and 2 second rounders?
That's what the
Jets wanted back. Wow.
A ton. That's a flattering thing for a safety on a one-win team. The term that they use on Jamal Adams in that building is he's a mission statement guy. What does that mean? Jerry Maguire, mission statement. Sure. If you were to write something, what do we want in a New York Jet? Jamal Adams is that guy. They love Jamal Adams. They also love Le'Veon Bell. He's a very positive force in that building. Neither player generated the interest or the offers that they wanted. At the end of the day, Leonard Williams was the only player traded, and they got a lot for him. If you're the Jets, you could come in this morning and say, everyone's available. Everyone's available. Maybe except for Sam Darnold. Everyone's available for the right price. Nobody came close to offering what we do for valuing you. I would be interested to see if Jamal Adams is as upset this morning as he was yesterday when he was tweeting.
He's been disgruntled for a couple of weeks. He hasn't been that standout leader that we sort of know wears the C on his jersey lately. So hopefully things do get better.
Yeah, and I think in a wild, wild season for the Jets, that the soundbite and the handling from Big Joe, as we call him, so sensible and rational, and I also think relatable. Here's what this was, all right? You're at a bar, and you have a girlfriend, okay?
Go ahead.
She's out of sight, whatever it means. And someone comes up and talks to you, a young lady comes up and talks to you at the bar, and you're always like, why were you talking to her? Why were you talking? And you say, she walked up to me. I didn't approach her. I'm standing there having my beer, and she started, what am I supposed to do, run away? And I'll say this, maybe also if your girlfriend has been let it known that maybe she wants to see other people, and your girlfriend is also very expensive. And the fact is, if Joe had made those calls, that's his right, too. You know, we're in an era now where how do they know Jamal Adams isn't going to say, I'm sick of losing, I hate this, I demand to be traded, like so many else of my peers have been doing. And then the Jets are caught with their pants down, and they're like, maybe we should do our due diligence on a really terrible team and a good player. So even if he had called, which I don't believe he did, I don't have a problem with it. I think Joe handled this thing perfectly.
But you also did not want him to be dealt. You said that on
No,
your
I don't, and I don't
happy
think Joe did either, and I'm glad they didn't.
Kyle, we think so much alike because I was going
Because we've all
right
lived
there.
it, Nate.
Listen, she was flirting with me. I wasn't flirting with her.
She kissed me first. I didn't
Yeah,
kiss her back.
I just sat there. No, but here's the thing. This is the harsh realities of the business of the NFL. And it's one thing for a vet, a guy who's been established in this league that understands the business. He gets shopped around or even gets traded. But for a young guy who's still on his rookie deal like Jamal Adams, this is disheartening for the simple fact that he has given everything. He has been a captain. He hasn't had any issues off the field. He's been an absolute leader. And as far as being disgruntled, that's everybody. You know what I mean? That's every NFL player. That's every professional athlete. Hell, that's us at the table occasionally. We'll get disgruntled about things that go on at work. But the thing is, he shows up every day, and he shows up more passionate than the game before. I'll share a quick story. Jamal Adams, and I don't want to share too much about his
What do you
life.
got?
He lives in Edgewater, New Jersey, where I used to live,
Okay.
right? And there's one of my close friends that lives right across the street from him, and he owns a pancake house, Brownstone. And I was at the pancake house, and we're just talking football. He loves football. And he's like, yeah, you know Jamal lives across me. I'm like, yeah, we've talked about this before. He said, you know what I like about Jamal Adams? Is that I could see directly into his house. And I've never seen a bunch of people over there. I've never heard music out of there. I've never seen him up past 11 p.m. He said, and one time he even said, hey, man, you're young. What are you doing? And Jamal said, man, I got time for all that. I'm here to play football. That's the only Jamal Adams story I ever carry with me. I know he's going to be a good football player. But when it comes to individuals that are looked at as divas, malcontents, have issues in the offseason, off the field, Jamal Adams does everything that you want him to do. With all that said, for some reason, this dude was in his feelings about being on the team. Now, you ask yourself, is it Jamal Adams or is it the team? Is it Jamal Adams? Is it the GM? Is it Jamal Adams or is it the head coach? I feel like Jamal Adams has done everything right. At some point, you have to help your superstars be superstars.
Yeah, what I was talking about is his very visible, palpable frustration after loss over there, where you have Le'Veon Bell, new to the team, used to winning, and he's sort of handling it a little bit differently. He's super optimistic. How does this go today? From today forward, take me into that locker room, that inevitable meeting of seeing everybody.
Jamal Adams walks into the locker room, Nate. What happens?
You dap up your guys, you look them in the eyes and tell them, let's get ready for the rest of this ride. Now he understands just how tricky this business is.
How about the GM?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's
he's
fine.
tweeting, and it's very obvious. He's tweeting, I talked to Adam Gase and the GM. Adam Gase, the GM. How do you mend that bridge? Because he
don't.
still believes the GM cheated on him.
You don't mend it. I mean, we don't get along with everybody we work with, whether it's the person who hired you
What
or
do you
the
mean you
person.
don't mend it? Like, you don't
what-
make eye contact with the GM?
Is Jamal Adams supposed to walk up to him and say, hey, man, I know you're trying to deal
What
with
if
me.
the
Can we
GM
really be buds?"
proactively comes up to him this morning
Let's
and says,
straighten this out.
I bet he will. I bet he will.
You nod your head, shake his hands, look him in his eye, and walk away knowing
We didn't
you don't have my
trade
best
you.
interest.
We
Do you
didn't
think- do
trade
you think
you.
Jamal Adams has a reason to be upset explain to me why.
Why would he be miffed about this? They called about him and they didn't trade him.
I said, look him in his eye,
Oh, okay.
shake his hand, and you move along. But you walk away understanding that at any given moment,
It's a
you could be gone. The whole idea of a rookie coming in, and I felt like this, every rookie feels like this. A team hands you a big check, more than you ever made before. You put it in your pocket, put it in the bank. And in your head, you're like, I'll run through a brick wall. I will bleed. I will fight. I will break my leg and limp around on this field for this squad. Once the business sets in, you're like, Psh, I got to look out for myself. Because at the end of the day, guess what the team is going to look out for? Themselves.
Well said. Let's go on to the Redskins.